Playing to the conditions. It's really important in cricket that you're able to quickly identify the conditions of the pitch, the outfield, the weather. You're going to know how much the ball is swinging, especially if you're opening the batting. And that's what we're going to talk about today. What I'd like to start off with is, does everyone before a match, everyone goes out and they all look at the pitch, right? Now, especially if you're in parts of the world like England or New Zealand or Holland or things like that, the way the pitch is can really determine the shots that you can play, because you could have a really hard flat pitch or you can have a green seamer. So it's really important that before the match I want you to go out there, have a look at the pitch, and the things that you're looking for are the hardness. Alright, so if the pitch is hard, it means it's probably going to have a nice carry through. You're looking for the amount of grass coverage. So if there's more grass on it, it means that the ball is going to slow down off the surface and potentially move off the seam. And then look for any cracks and things. Cracks usually aren't too big a deal unless they're sort of bigger than that. So have a look at the pitch conditions. Have a look at the weather conditions. If it's overcast, the ball is probably going to swing a bit more. And I'm talking about all this stuff from the perspective of an opening batsman, because that's where it really does count. So look at those overhead conditions. If it's a bit overcast, a bit cloudy, ball could swing a bit, and that's going to affect the shots that you play. If the pitch is hard, flat, clear skies, not going to swing, then obviously you can come out there and you can go and you can play all the shots. You can come out pulling, cutting, driving, maybe going over the air in the covers, all those shots. And you see that quite often at international level because the conditions are so good. But at club level, sometimes it's a bit different, and sometimes the conditions, like the pitch, needs to dry out a bit in the morning and it becomes better on in the day. So a good way to think about it is to imagine that you've got a library and that you've got a library of shots. And when you go into that library, you've got your pull shots, you've got your cut shots, you've got front foot drives, all those sorts of things. And depending on the conditions, you go into that library and you pull out the shots that you want to use. Now, I know that sounds a bit corny, but it really is quite important, because if you can play all the shots in the book, if you technically you can play them, and that's what we're doing in a lot of these other videos, is teaching you the technique, but you've got to know when to use them, because cricket is all about the percentages. Now maybe it's a case of saying in the first hour, I'm just going to play straight, I'm just going to play the V, use the full face of the bat, and then maybe later on, once I get a feel for the bounce, I might get into the pulling and the cutting. It's that sort of thing. So really, cricket, you've got to be flexible, and it depends on the day. So make sure that you go out there, assess the conditions, and then go into your library of shots and pull out the ones that you're going to use for today, or at least the ones you're going to start off with, because you'll find once you're in, batting gets so much easier. And that's what everyone says. You get through that first hour and you get through that second hour, suddenly you've got the whole rest of the day and it's getting so much easier. So good luck with that, and we'll see you next time.